Hello everyone. I will talk about ashrams in Rishikesh. Many people approach me, especially from out of India, who are looking for ashrams in Rishikesh. So I thought I will make a video uh, instead of giving individual replies. And though I have a book, the book which I wrote, titled Spiritual Encounters, subtitled Meeting the Himalayan Yogis. In that book, apart from the yogis whom I met, I have also written about ashrams in Rishikesh. Specifically in Rishikesh, I have also covered Vrindavan and one odd ashrams in Vrindavan also. But I'm not recommending Vrindavan. I'm going to talk about only Rishikesh ashrams because Vrindavan people go for a different purpose and Rishikesh people go for a spiritual immersion. Vrindavan is for mainly devotional purpose and it's mostly the local spiritual seekers who are coming there, the devotional seekers from India. So coming to, there are many ashrams in Rishikesh. Rishikesh is kind of a twin town, Haridwar and Rishikesh. So these two cities are next to each other, and Haridwar has hundreds of ashrams. But Haridwar is a place for the local Indian people who come for rituals. They have some rituals to be performed, especially when somebody dies in the family. So people go to Haridwar for flowing the ashes, submerging the ashes, and doing those rituals related to death of a person. So Haridwar has a different angle, and it doesn't have an international community, but there is one ashram I know, Mahanandmayi Ashram, which is actually in Haridwar, and that has an international community because Haridwar Ashram of Mahanandmayi is the main ashram, and I believe it's a very nice ashram. They have separate accommodation for international seekers, and there is a separate accommodation for local seekers. I have not seen it, so I can't really talk about it, but I have heard good things about it. Ashram, it's a good ashram. Now, Mahanandmayi ashrams are there all over the country. I think they must be outside India also. I've seen some ashrams. I live in Pune. There is one ashram in Pune, but it's not open for people to come and stay. It's just an ashram where you can go and spend your time and join the evening aarti and all that stuff. And there are some rooms where Ma used to stay and she used to meditate. So there are some meditation rooms. There are the temple. So that's mostly there in these ashrams. In Vrindavan also there is Mahanandmayi ashram with few rooms. I think there are just 4 to 5 rooms, and they don't give it for more than 3 days or 1 week. If you are associated with the ashram, then they might consider you for a week. And again, in these ashrams, apart from Haridwar, I don't see any international travelers coming. And there is another beautiful ashram of Mahanandmayi in Almora in the Himalayas, which is really nice, very serene, solitude. But I don't see anyone there actually. Nobody goes there. So Almora is not that, it's not really popular on the tourist map for spiritual seekers, though there are some good places, Kasar Devi, where Swami Vivekananda meditated. Earlier, that place was known as Crank Ridge. It was a hippie movement, spiritual hippie movement, which happened over there. And at that time, there were a lot of people, but now I think that's died down. So that place is generally deserted. There are local tourists who come, but it's a nice spiritual place for you can do your spiritual practices. But there are no ashrams who are conducting any courses. So coming to a holistic ashram where there is some activities, then it is Rishikesh. And Rishikesh that's why it's called yoga capital of the world. Now Rishikesh has 2 parts. One is the main town and one is the spiritual area. It's like called Swargashram. That area is Swargashram. So there are 2 bridges, Ram Jhula and Lakshman Jhula, and now this new one, Janki Setu. Lakshman Jhula is under construction. New one is being made, so that is closed. So these three bridges are very famous: Ram Jhula, Lakshman Jhula, and around in between these three bridges, hanging bridges, cantilever bridges, not cantilever, hanging bridges. This spiritual area is there. Some years back, almost a decade back, when I started going to Rishikesh was very divine, not that crowded. And after COVID, it's filled with, it's very, very crowded. And it is expanded. It's got more densely populated, especially the Tapovan area is filled with yoga schools, and so much construction has happened. That area was completely empty 10 years back. Now it is completely choked. In fact, a lot of stuff has moved towards Tapovan area because Lakshman Jhula, that bridge is closed, so the connectivity is a problem. So most of the schools which are on that side that street also looks very deserted, which was actually bustling with people and activity. That was the main area, Lakshman Jhula. But now it's Tapovan because of the bridge closure, and the whole shift happens towards Tapovan because there was place to expand, so it expanded till that big waterfall, and now it is choked. So this is about Rishikesh. Now in the town area, there is only one ashram. And there's only one ashram, which is actually, now I'll talk about that ashram first, then I'll talk about the ashrams which are there in the ashram area, the spiritual area. So this ashram in the town area is near the dam. There over the Ganges river, there's a dam, barrage. It's called barrage. And it's also right in front of All India Institute of Medical Sciences, one of the prestigious hospital of India. So AIIMS, it's called AIIMS, AIIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences. So this ashram there are two ashrams. Swami Ram's, it's a smaller ashram, which is the original ashram of Swami Ram. And his disciple Swami Ved Bharati started another ashram, which is, if you're facing the hospital, it's on the left. Swami Ram Sadhana Mandir is on the right, if you're facing the hospital. So they are on either side of the hospital, on the other side of the road. So now Swami Ram Sadhagram has got good facilities, I would say. So somebody who's looking for privacy, this ashram has privacy also, because it's not a thoroughfare. It has its control who comes in. So there is a control. Not anyone can just enter over there. It has a good program of morning meditation and yoga and evening meditation and yoga, and they have some classes in between, I think. And the food is, whenever I stayed there, I think I stayed there 2-3 times. I like the food. I think I would say that this ashram had one of the best food. But recently, when I went to meet the yoga teacher there, and I had lunch with him, I did not like that food the way it was. So I'm not sure I cannot really comment on the food quality. And the same yoga teachers are there. Nothing great. They are like, most of the yoga teachers are like run of mill. And it's basically, yoga teacher means they're asana teachers. So there's, there are so many yoga teachers, so I really cannot say they are the best teachers or something. Like, it's just simply, for me, yoga is like a physical exercise. So how do you can't really differentiate when you have hundreds of yoga teachers all over. So it's like an exercise. So asana yoga. Meditation, these teachers will not really teach you meditation. They will do meditation just for the sake of doing. So all these ashrams, you will not really find anybody into meditation or also into spirituality. So you can't really have deep spiritual knowledge or even about meditation. But you can do good yoga practice. That's the core of most of these ashrams. But what apart from the yoga practice, what they offer, it's like a routine. It's not a course. They have routines. It's part of the routine. So you're going there and staying. You join the course. Some of the ashrams, Swami Ram Sadhagram, it's like kind of compulsory that you have to attend the classes. Though they will not chase you if you don't come for a few classes. But it's necessary to come and attend, because if you don't follow certain ethics, they may not let you in again. So they might mark you. So they are a little particular about that, but also they see the business point of view to get people also. So somewhere they will have a compromise. So I'll talk about privacy. This ashram has good privacy. This ashram is quiet, and you can have a nice solitude there. And there is the rooms are good. They have, it's kind of sweet. Like they have a kitchenette, so you can also make your own stuff. And with the kitchenette, there is a small place you can sit and eat, and there is a room, and there is a small room where you can actually do meditation. And they have a very big bathroom. Bathroom is like a room. But sometimes they add people in that. Like you want an individual room, but sometimes they put people, because each room has 2 beds. And once it happened, there was crowd, I believe, and they put some guy in my room, and I snore. So he had a problem. I think I'm not sure whether he was snoring. So I'm not sure whether you can get an individual room or not. It all depends upon the crowd. So they have this kind of setup. So if you're looking specifically for an individual room, it may not happen. But I always got an individual room except once. So I think out of 3 or 4 times, once I got doubled up with someone. That was my last night, I think, and the last night I had to share. And you don't like to share with anyone you don't know. So food, as I mentioned, I liked the food. It was good, and the ashram is clean. The meditation hall, they have a library, and they have a bookshop, and also a shop which sells some other stuff also. And there is a Swami who's actually an American now, Swami Ritwan Bharati. He is a disciple of Swami Ved Bharati. And food, as I mentioned, hygiene is very good. And what else? The solitude is good, and there is an international community, so you have option. Though they observe silence when you go to eat. There is a sitting arrangement which you have to sit on the floor, and there is also option of sitting on the table and chair and table if somebody cannot comfortable sitting on the floor. But the sitting on the floor is really nice over there, very nice and clean, very well arranged. So I would always prefer to sit on the floor. And they serve on small tables. When you sit, there is small tables like stools on which you put your plate. And you can also volunteer in serving if you want, but people also volunteer there. I've seen people coming from different countries and volunteering there for 6 months, but then they are given a different accommodation. But I think that must be individual accommodation. So I'm telling you all the options which are there in this ashram. Then food I've told, hygiene I've told, in solitude, there is an international community. So you can have a good exchange you can have some good discussion, depend who comes. A decade back, before the corona came, in Rishikesh, most of the seekers were from West. There was, I would say, 95% people were coming from West in all these ashrams. Literally, there was no local crowd. But now, I think I would say probably it is now almost 30%, sometimes even 50% local crowd. And they are very different. So I'm not sure, but yeah, everybody is evolving. So I'm just giving the demography which comes, so you know what to expect in this place. So this is what I've told. And Swami Ram Sadhagram, you have to send a mail for booking. That's a mode of booking, and you can pay before, or I really don't know. And the cost of a room per day per person, including food and everything, is these ashrams are all inclusive. Everything, the whole package is there. It's about $20 or maybe a little less. And in Swami Ram Sadhagram, the rates are different. If you have America, the rates are higher. But different country, there's a different rate. Even in Europe, suppose you're coming from France or Germany or Italy, the rates are higher. If you're coming from Central Europe or probably Eastern Europe, the rates are lesser. And for Indians, it is same, $20, 1,500 rupees. I don't know if they've increased, but this I'm telling you, just last year only I had visited somewhere in October, I think. So I had inquired about the rates there. It will be on the website. So you will get all the information on the website that I don't want to tell here. tariff and all, but I'm just telling you the overall picture. So that's about this ashram. Second ashram I would now go to is Yog Niketan. This is the ashram where I initially stayed for 3-4 years, and in every year I used to visit twice, spending 2 weeks. Yog Niketan was a very good ashram. Somewhere in 2016, the main trustee passed away. He was 90-year-old, Mr. Bagdi. After that, his next generation came in, and after that, I would say the ashram has lost its charm and the spiritual. The good thing about ashram is you have a privacy. It's perched above. It's right next to the Ram Jhula where all the crowd and noise is there, but it is perched above the hill. So you just climb up a little bit, and then you have that silence. So it is beautiful. It's like a nice ashram. It has got individual rooms. It has got double rooms also. It's got air conditioners also. So if you're coming in the hot season, you can have an air conditioned room, but then you'll be stuck inside the room. I'll talk about the season when it's the best season to visit. So it has got individual rooms. They have around 100 rooms. So they have a capacity of 100 people in this ashram. And they have a huge yoga hall, and they have morning, evening yoga meditation session, and they have a library, and they have a evenings kirtan session. Even Swami Ram ashram has a evening kirtan session. They generally play videos of Swami Ram after dinner. In Yog Niketan, I remember they used to sing, but sometimes the singing was not really good because the local yoga teachers are singing. That's not really good. But if somebody who used to sing well, and sometimes they called some singers from outside, then those sessions were really interesting, enjoyable, and divine. So in Yog Niketan, you have privacy, you can have solitude. It's got a good view of the Ganges. So it is in the main area, unlike Swami Ram Sadhak, which is away from the ashram area. Now when we come to the ashram, it has got many benefits because this is the main yoga capital. So you have variety of, it's very diverse. So diverse, you can go for a walk, you can see cows and sadhus and ashrams and umpteen yoga schools. So this is like the hub, the real place where you will like to be actually, and not somewhere in the town which is like cut off. So if you are in Swami Ram Sadhak, if you don't want to go anywhere, you don't want to see anything else, you just want to be in the city ashram, then that's good. And if you have to go to the ashram area, Swarg ashram area, and then you have to probably go on Sunday when you're free, that day you can roam around. But that place also has its own attraction and charm, that you will like to go more frequently to walk on the streets and watch what's happening, what's there. So it's very attractive. So it's a mix of solitude, and then you can jump into the crowd and those lanes and those paths and see all the chaos and the spiritual chaos there. So that's what and then there are many cafes and restaurants, and you get all kind of food. So if you're not happy with the ashram food, you have a choice. On Sundays, you can go and try different cafes and restaurants. I will probably talk about cafes and restaurants in a separate video about Rishikesh, that which cafes are good and what do they offer. So that's what. And so Yog Niketan is in the place. The view is very good because it's perched on top of the small hill in front of Ram Jhula. So you have a damn good view, very good view. Beautiful view. And evening you can listen to the Aarti which happens in Parmat Niketan, the evening Aarti, which is very scintillating and stimulating initially for people who come in the beginning. So you can see the Aarti from there, you can hear the Aarti from there. And yoga classes are good, the teachers are decent, and but again, it's again asanas, as I mentioned. Don't think that you will get any spiritual knowledge or any knowledge about meditation. They will do few techniques of meditation, but main activity in the ashram is yoga. But this ashram also does a morning havan. Morning havan is a fire ceremony, Aarti. In the morning, I think around 8 o'clock. So after, I think it's before breakfast or after breakfast, I'm not sure. So there is 1 hour of Aarti, which is also very nice. So one can actually attend that. I don't know, they still continue, but I've never stayed there. Since last couple of years, I've not gone there because I had some discord with them, the present uh, trustees, and I was supposed to teach there also meditation, but they are so confused and there is a lot of politics. If you go deep inside these ashrams, when you go connect with these ashrams and you see the management and the internet politics and all that stuff, then you start detesting these ashrams. But when you are in the beginning coming, you want to just see that. So it's for a beginner, for a trailer. As a trailer, it is good. And this ashram food is not good. In fact, people have been complaining about the food, but somehow the food is. It's like fluctuate. The quality of food fluctuates. Sometimes they make it spicy. Sometimes they don't. They don't give very good breakfast. Sometimes, and people come from Western countries and they sometimes not very happy. Some people are happy. So it's a mixed bag. It depends. You may like. Now coming to the rooms, Swami Ram Sadhakram, I told the rooms are good. They are really good. They have air conditioners. All rooms have air conditioners. Yog Niketan has choice of air conditioner, non-air conditioner. Most of the rooms are non-AC, and the rooms are small. Rooms are small, frugal. They have just a cot and a table and chair, nothing else. Rooms are not very great, but they are ordinary rooms, but neat and clean. It's a neat and hygienic, and they have solar powered water heaters. So you have in the winters hot water available. You don't have to use a geyser. So it's a solar geyser. So that advantage is there. In Swami Ram Sadhakram, you don't have solar geyser, but you have electric heaters for hot water in the bathroom. Yog Niketan, as I told, rooms are Spartan. Nothing great, but neat and clean, nice. There are a lot of monkeys there, so be careful. But they have put net outside the room, so monkeys cannot really enter in the first floor. So you have to be careful when you hang your clothes, because they tend to take away, especially the undergarments, and they try to wear on your head. So it's a very funny sight. So anything else about Yoga Niketan? Solitude, privacy, yoga class, food, and what they offer. And price. The price is again same price as, I think it's 1,400 something. It's again same around $20 per day with food and all the classes. The advantage here is that you are in the Swargashram area. So you are in the hustle bustle, and at the same time you have your privacy, you have your solitude, you have your silence, you have your peace. There is serenity. So that's the advantage of this ashram. So these two ashrams, I would say, should be preferred. You can choose what is minus there and what is plus here. Now I'll come to third ashram, Paramath Niketan. Paramath Niketan is on the other side of the Ganges. When you cross the Ram Jhula and then you go, there are 2-3 ashrams, but a lot of ashrams in Rishikesh in this area are only for Indians. They are not all ashrams are open. So there is Gita Bhavan. Gita Bhavan has 5 ashrams in a row, and once you finish Gita Bhavan, then comes Paramath Niketan. And after Paramath Niketan comes Vanprastha Ashram, which is also for Indians. And after Vanprastha Ashram, there is Ved Niketan. Now, Ved Niketan offers to all international people also. I will not really cover Ved Niketan, it's not a very great ashram. And so I will really not cover that. So I'll come back to Paramath Niketan, which is the third ashram I would like to recommend to international travelers. Now, Paramath Niketan, the main disadvantage is that it is a thoroughfare. They have no control over who's coming. People who are going to the backside of the ashram area, they also cross through the main entrance and they'll go out from the back entrance. Somebody is coming from the back entrance, coming into this main lane through the main gate. So the people there's continuous movement. Frankly, I would say there's no privacy, there's no solitude, there is no serenity, there's no tranquility. It's a crowded place. It looks like crowded place. You really don't know whether the ashram people are walking inside or non-ashramites are also walking. The other 2 ashrams I told, they have a controlled gate entry, so not only the people who are residing can only come. So that's why they maintain that serenity. This Paramath Niketan. Now the main advantage in Paramath Niketan is that they have a nice cafeteria, canteen, and they have a wide variety of food which caters to global taste buds also. And they have the global cuisine. So the food wise, it's got a variety of choice. So you have to buy coupons and eat. The food is not included I think the food is not included if you stay. I never stayed in this ashram because the booking method is very weird, and you have to write in mail and then they will book it. It's, I believe, cheaper than other ashrams. The cost is less. I think you can get for $10 or somewhere around $10. I'm not very sure about the cost. That you can check on the website. But they have different category of rooms ranging from, that's why the pricing will be different. So they have not just one set room, but they have different room. They have, I think, air conditioned rooms also. Now, the rooms are nice, clean, and they have a guru there. There's a American lady who is also sannyasin, Bhagavati Saraswati. She is also a guru. So there are two gurus there. Other ashrams don't really have a guru. This ashram has a guru. But this ashram is again a little political. I would say they are politically connected. So it's like a mega show there. The main focus is the evening aarti, and evening aarti is the main focus every day that aarti happens. And sometimes VIPs come there, and that area is very crowded. But it is in the heart of Swargashram. So if you just want to be in that lane and street and you like to walk and enjoy, you can be there. But if you want solitude and serenity, that will be missing. Privacy will be there only in your room, but I don't think you'll have privacy. But if you really want to see all the chaos and show, spiritual show, then that's the place to be in. Food I have told, and pricing I have told. Food is good. So every ashram has, so I've told about 3 ashrams, pros and cons. You decide what you want. You can't imagine. I really don't have photographs of all ashrams. I have not really photographed. I never thought I will make a video like this, but because people have been reaching out to me about where to stay, then I thought, why not make a video only? So I have hardly any photographs of these ashrams, so probably I'll put it, though I should have clicked photographs here, but I never clicked. That's all about these 3 ashrams. I think the video has become already quite long. I can recommend another ashram. I did mention about Manandmay ashram in Haridwar. That's also, I've told 4 ashrams. Then I can recommend one ashram which is 20 kilometers from Rishikesh. So when you go to Vashisht cave, 20 kilometers from Rishikesh, up the mountain, on the way to Badrinath, just 20 kilometers you come to Vashisht cave. I think most of the people do visit Vashisht cave. So when you go to Vashisht cave, on the other side of the river, Ganges river, there is this ashram called Anand Lok. You can search. This ashram was started by a Swiss guru. He was a Swiss guru, and so you can imagine what he's created is beautiful. I would say that's the ideal ashram. That's the best ashram. But unfortunately, every ashram has something missing. The food is very good. The setting is very good, and the rooms are very nice. Everything is good, but they don't have a routine. They don't have resident teachers. They don't have a resident teacher, so they have no classes. What happens in these ashrams? This ashram is expensive. The cost is 40 euros per person per night. So it's expensive. But the location is amazing. It's solitude. You may find international community, but the only problem is it has people coming who are coming in a group. So somebody organize a retreat or some course. So they bring their groups there. So those groups do their stuff and go back. So you may not even get to meet them, or you might meet them, but I don't know whether they will have time to interact with you. So individual seekers visiting there, I'm not sure. I think people don't go there because now what you'll miss here is you're far away from Rishikesh. This is total isolation. But a beautiful place. But when you cross the river, when you go to Vashisht cave, there's a regular stream of visitors. You can actually spend some time there in the cave. You can do your meditation there. You can also meet people if you want. But people come, do meditation and go away, and they also spend some time near the Ganges. So this is also I think it's a good option. It depends if you are not really looking for that chaos. Maybe what you can do, you can spend few days here and then few days in Rishikesh, in Paramath Niketan. So you can be in the hustle bustle in a crowded area, and then you can spend few days in this ashram where it is more secluded. But if you're alone, there'll be no one to take a class. In fact, I was thinking that if I would have loved to be there and take classes, but individuals don't come there. So every ashram has its own flow of residents, and this ashram started a couple of years back. Yog Niketan, Parmat Niketan, Swami Ram ashrams are very old ashrams. So they have a old following and old following. So these are the ashrams. I would say Yog Niketan has the maximum crowd. Unfortunately, the management is, I don't like that management. But it has its following. The people are coming. There are also groups also come sometimes, and when the large group comes, they take over the yoga hall in Yog Niketan, and then you are shifted to a smaller hall. So sometimes as an individual, if you are an individual, then you might not get the best of what the ashram is offering in terms of yoga. And so sometimes there are more groups, large groups, and very few individuals. So again, you are like, then you'll have too much of solitude. So I would say I have mentioned 5 ashrams. None of these ashrams are really perfect, and it takes time because unfortunately, for some reason, the ashram is excellent, like Anand Lok is excellent, but the person who's running really doesn't have that knack for running an ashram. So some people, they come as a businessman, and Yog Niketan started by a wonderful guru, Yogeshwaranand ji, so, and his followers, previous generation, they managed it very well. It was a spiritual center, and now it's become a business center. So if the ashram becomes a business center, it loses its worth. They don't bother about people, what they want. They don't give them what they should be getting there. So that's a problem with these ashrams. Most of the ashrams have become actually business centers. So, but at the beginning, you can just go and don't expect much. Go with very less expectation and enjoy. You can choose any of these, and maybe you can spend few days in different ashrams, and you'll get the feel of these different ashrams. And I can't really think of any ashram which is really good from all perspective. I mentioned one more ashram. I need to mention one more ashram, Hara Khan Baba ashram, which is not in Rishikesh, it's in Haldwani. It's in the other side of the hill, mountains. But I was there twice, this year and last year. Now again, that ashram has no courses, no classes. They make you do work. So whole day you work, you clean, you swap, you broom, you paint. They believe in karma yoga. So morning aarti, evening aarti, and whole day you work. So that's a very different ashram. There's no class, nothing. International community is also not great, and it's cheap. Some rooms are very cheap, hardly $7, and the expensive rooms are $20. Food is included. Food is nothing great, and the way they eat, that area is also, I don't think it's really good, because if you're charging $20, make the place good where the people eat. This ashram is divided into 2 parts. One is on the other side of river, but the place is beautiful. This place is out of the world. So if you really want to enjoy, and in the river there is no water actually. There is like stream. Only in the monsoon it gets filled. Otherwise, a river is literally empty, and there are streams flowing there. So you can cross the river or by foot. And there are 3-4 cafes. They made a hut they made the brick with stones, and that's the place you can spend your whole day. Provided you can escape the Karma Yoga, you can actually spend the whole day bathing in the river, or you're just sitting and sipping a cup of tea and enjoying the weather. And there's a beautiful tree in the middle of the river, and there is a Hanuman temple there, small temple, and it's like looks out of the world. The place is amazing. If I really say, that place is unmatched. So you have a lot of solitude. You have a little bit of international community. There are some devotees who are living, international devotees. I know there are 3-4 ladies and 1 man who are already there permanently. They're living there for some now 10 years or 15 years or 6 years. So you can interact, but they are busy in the work, because some of them is managing the office. So this ashram is also good. You can try, but it's specifically ritualistic from like morning, evening kirtan. There's no yoga, nothing, no spiritual discussion, nothing. So that's another one, but it's not in Rishikesh, little away. Then, and if you don't want to do any ashram, then I would suggest that take a room on rent if you want to go for a month. Take a room on rent somewhere, or stay in a yoga. There are many other places. There are yoga schools, and there are many bed and breakfast and these kind of motels and hotels, or some kind of homestays. Stay there and enjoy the place. Be free. Just be free from all this ashram chaos. And there are so many cafes and restaurants. You can meet people there, and you can be totally free. You can actually explore Rishikesh. But if you're in the ashram, you may not get to explore that place. So that's another option rather than looking at an ashram. But which is the best place? Which is the best place to live? Rent or a service apartment or a homestay? That I really don't know much. Probably I'll have to explore, because most of these are pretty new now, because they have suddenly cropped up in the last 5-6 years. Otherwise, there weren't any homestays there. It was mainly ashrams. But now there's a lot of crowd. People do take individual places to be free from. And there are schools. There are yoga schools, but they give courses. So you can join them as a walk-in student also and live there also. You have options. I think I have covered enough. And thanks. If you have any questions, you can write in the comments.